Alright, this is my video reaction number 3 about the TED Talk Stop Managing and Start Learning. So, first off, what I found interesting was he was able to kind of do what the last TED Talk that we watched did. He was able to lighten the mood a little bit and get his audience involved, crack some jokes here and there, where as in the first one that we watched, that person wasn't really, engaging with their audience, I felt like. So that's something that I kind of found interesting. First off, he talks about if millennials should be managed or not. Most people, mostly the older generation, not millennials, they view millennials as lazy. They don't want to work. You always go up to someone of an older generation and they're like, oh, millennials don't want to do this. They want to get paid. They don't want to work, all that stuff. So I agree with what he said about that. He also stated that millennials are now over half the workforce currently in the world. So I kind of found that surprising, considering how short we are into the 2000s, that they're mostly covering most of the workforce. So he talked about something called Theory Y and Theory X. I found this interesting. He said for Theory Y, first off, you need to understand Theory X. And Theory X is, people are lazy, they hate working. And Theory Y is, they're ambitious, they're self-motivated, they enjoy working, and the ultimate goal for that is they can help employees reach their needs. That's something that I feel like people can be split off into those two theories. I feel like, like I was saying with the older generation and the millennials, I feel like they would place us, the millennials, in the X group, lazy, hate work. That's just how it's portrayed. And Theory Y would be, the older generations. I don't know what their name is, not millennials, Gen X, I don't know. But yeah, I found that kind of interesting. He believes that people want to work, does excellent work, and be proud of their work, which is true. If you're gonna do something, do it to the fullest of your ability. Don't half butt it. If you're gonna do something, do it right. Do it good the first time so you don't have to do it over again. That's something, that I was raised on with my parents, telling me, make sure you do it good the first time so you don't have to redo it and waste your time. He said he was a little optimistic of the next generation, considering how much the millennials are being, I guess, portrayed again or viewed due to, not everyone wants to work, obviously, but the more that you get on these people about working, they're gonna want to do it. If you have an unmotivated person who just doesn't want no future, no good for them, they don't want anything good in life, they're not gonna do it. And that just doesn't have to be millennials. It could be, someone who's 60, who's 30. It's not just millennials. So yeah, I feel like, it's for everyone. So, another thing is technology, how that's growing, and it's only going to keep growing. We have FaceTime, Skype. Meetings don't have to be face to face now. You know, if you have, say, a conference call with someone halfway across the world, it can happen due to technology. So I feel like that's going to become a more important part of work, whereas, you know, back in the day, you know, it wasn't an option because it wasn't available. But yeah, especially for like offices, not so much, I wouldn't think factory work, but you know, there's still possible ways, you know, that you can fit the newer style of technology into your workforce or your workplace. He also stressed that you have to have your teams back, no matter what. Because think of it this way: if you're working in a team, it's you and 3 others, and there's no trust, there's no urgency, there's just no good connection between you all, would you feel confident or safe about your work that you're producing? You know, most people would say no. So it is a ton easier if you and your team can develop some sort of trust. You know, if your teammate gets in some sort of slump or trouble, they're gonna wanna know that, you know, hey, my teammate has my back. Excuse me. So yeah, no matter what, even if you don't like the person outside of, you know, your team or project or whatever, you know, just set it aside to make it work, because it goes a long way and it's really important, honestly. Another thing he said was the real growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Now, this I definitely agree with, because I can sort of relate, you know, being an introvert kind of, yeah, when you step outside your comfort zone, you're not limiting yourself, but you're opening up yourself to new things that you're not used to. And the only way to get better, I feel, is to keep practicing those things you're not good at so you can get better at those. And then once you're better at those, on to the next one, and then on to the next one, until you're comfortable with doing whatever it is you need to do. So yeah, I thought that was very important out of everything. But overall, I feel like he did a very nice job talking. Like I said, you know, interacting with his audience, getting everyone involved, lightening the mood. That's about it, I think. Like I said, you know, he wants people to work, be proud of their work, about the generations, the technology. So yeah, that'll do it for here. Thanks.